The Socio-Economic Rights Institute of South Africa wants government to protect the leaders of shack dwellers movement Abahlali, Mabaso and Mjondolo following the killing of some of the movement's leaders since the start of this year. They include Ayanda Ngila, Nokuthula, Mabaso and Lindokuhle Mnguni. Both Mabaso and Mnguni are said to have been witnesses to Ngila's murder. Let's talk about this with Zolile Shude, candidate attorney with the Socio-Economic Rights Institute of South Africa. Very good afternoon to you, sir. Welcome to the program. Let's begin first with just how much danger Abahlali leaders feel they're under at the moment.
Good afternoon, Tembi, and good afternoon to the viewers at home. So they are currently under attack because they are being assassinated for their participation in the movement of shack dwellers called Abahlali and Mjondolo, which is basically was formed to protect the rights of the poor and to enable them to have access to housing and land. As we all know that the land redistribution has not worked in this country. So there is a huge backlog in terms of people being able to access housing. So because of their activism, Abahlali have been targeted by private persons. They've been assassinated. I mean, this year alone, they have lost 3 leaders to the assassination from hitmen. And one of those was Ayanda Ngila on the 8th of March this year, who was gunned down by a group of hitmen in broad daylight. So the community is in great danger. They don't feel safe. They haven't found protection from the police. They haven't found protection from the state and other bodies who have this constitutional obligation to make sure that they are protected in their activism.
And in this letter that you've now sent to government, where you've got more than 100 signatures in support of your position, the 2 people in terms of ministers that you're looking to for the most urgent action are Police Minister Begicele and the Justice Minister Ronald Lamola. What immediate steps would you like them to take?
So we are calling on the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, Mr. Ronald Lamola, and the Minister of Police, Mr. Begicele, to intervene and ensure that they protect Abahlali. Because members of Abahlali are key witnesses in some of the cases that have been opened against people who are accused in the killing. However, we have seen a trend that these witnesses, these key witnesses, for example, Nokuthula Mabaso, who was assassinated in front of her family, who was gunned down in front of her family, was a key witness in Ayanda Ngila's murder investigation. As well as Lindokuhle Mnguni, who just got assassinated a month ago on the 20th of August, and who was also a key witness in the murder of Ayanda Ngila. And we see that there is a trend where leaders of Abahlali and Mjondolo, who are witnesses and community members, are being targeted and assassinated. Also, Tembi, is that when Abahlali and Mjondolo, the members and the leaders, and the community of Ekenana specifically seek recourse and they seek protection from the local police station in Katomena, they do not receive that protection. They do not receive the attention. The cases that they open take time to be given attention to and be investigated. And so that's why we need these ministers to take some administrative action to make sure that these institutions function and they protect human rights defenders who are trying to assert their human rights in terms of our constitution.
But why do you believe, Zolile, that there has been that lack of action on these cases, especially when more and more people are coming forward saying they are feeling increasingly afraid for their safety?
It is very difficult to tell, but what is there is that the harassment and the killings date as far back as 2009. And the movement itself has reached out to the political role players, to the Minister Begicele himself, to say, please come protect us. We are facing this danger, but we are not getting any protection from the police. So it is unclear why the police decide not to act. And that is why civil society organizations have then decided to come together and, try and put some pressure on them, try and remind them that they have a role to play in society, that they have obligations when it comes to not just human rights defenders, but to the community of South Africa as a whole. In the beginning, this harassment came in the form of, evictions. the informal settlement of Ekenana was only established in 2018. But by 2019, they had already experienced about 30 evictions, even though there had been interdicts to try and stop the municipality from harassing the community and evicting them unlawfully. But these still carried on. And now they have shifted from being, evictions to being, criminal, to being criminal in the sense that people are now being killed, they are being arrested unlawfully, they've been prosecuted on frivolous charges. None of the charges that the community has faced have resulted in a conviction.
And
that's why we...
Pardon me, you've also said in your letter to, Cabinet basically, that you would also like to see an investigation instituted by the Human Rights Commission. That's separate, of course, from a criminal process. I wonder how you think that would assist the situation, especially in the longer term when you consider that land rights disputes in South Africa, or violence, in fact, linked to fights over land rights, be it for development by corporates or any other reason, has been an ongoing issue in this country for many years, and some would say with very little justice for those who are killed or hurt in the process.
Of course, Tembi, but the human rights, these institutions exist for a reason. And that reason is primarily to give effect to the Constitution and to uphold the law. The Human Rights Commission was given a report some years ago that was detailing the harassment and the violence that the community faces, and they have done nothing about that report. And so we are now calling on them to do their own independent investigation to ensure that the violence and assassination is investigated, people who are responsible are identified, institutions like the Anti-Land Invasion Unit of the eThekwini municipality is investigated for their roles in these assassinations and killings. And specifically the police in Katomena is also investigated, because all of these people have been failing in their roles. Mm-hmm. And it is important for an institution such as the Human Rights Commission, which was founded to uphold the Constitution and human rights and to protect our human rights and the people and the public at large, that they do their job. So it would be very beneficial if we can get the commission to act, because this is not a novel. It's not new to them. They know about this. Representations have been made to them. Abahlali themselves have marched to their offices to try and get them to act in their protection.
Zolile Shude, good to speak to you, sir. Thank you for your time.